listening to the JCA Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor. To the JCA Sports.
Yeah, what up, what up, what's up, everybody? Another great episode of the JCA Sports Broadcast, brought you by, in debt by, starting by, but brought you by Star 6 Media here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. If you guys missed it, yes, we did a collaboration with Crack One Media, became Star 6 Media, and this is where you're going to see all our shows here with JCA Sports Podcast. Ain't that right, Jose? Or am I missing something?
Man, I'm looking at that board and behind you, and I'm like, there's no way this dude said 21-10 Bears.
Hell yeah, 21-10 Bears against these woeful Redskins.
Woeful. We're just as woeful, if not even more woeful than they are.
Oh no, we're better than they are.
No,
Oh, this is the one team that we're actually better than, and actually will show tomorrow night here in the Windy City. I think it might rain too, if I'm not mistaken. So we might have another ugly ass game. So maybe this scoreline will be a little too much.
I hope so.
But yeah, we're you guys. Yeah, this is what we're talking about today. Bears Commanders. Sorry, Bears Commanders tomorrow here in Soldier Field, Thursday Night Football, a primetime game for the Chicago Bears. One of two and back-to-back primetime games for our beloved Chicago Bears, guys. Ooh, I didn't even do that. The link will be on the comment section. I'll put that up right now. Let us know what you guys think. What's your prediction, your bold prediction for tomorrow between the Bears and the Commanders? What's your bold player prediction, and what's your score prediction? We want to know. What do you guys think for tomorrow's game? As you can see, I think I may have been a little bit over my head knowing that it's going to rain tomorrow now that I said it out loud, but I got 24-10 Bears. Yes, 24-10 Bears tomorrow. Jose, key to the games for tomorrow's game between the Bears and the Commanders.
Keys to the game has to be Justin Fields coming off a good game. He has to replicate that. If not, continue that momentum coming in here against the Commanders, Eric. We know what our running game can do. I just feel like it's not going to be enough. I know Carson Wentz, I get the Commanders haven't, they're on a good team, but Carson Wentz is, as much as he is, how can I say this? As much mistakes he makes, he can be a bit clutch when it comes to the end of the game. But he always the games of the Washington Commanders are always close. You know what I mean? They make it a game. They come back, final drive, final seconds, minutes, whatever you want to say. The Commanders make it a game. So I'm worried, but my keys to the game has to be Justin Fields and that passing attack. It has to come alive. We need to see more from Darnell Mooney. We need to see more from Cole Kmet, Equanimous, St. Brown, you name it. Those guys got to step up against the Washington Commanders tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, that's not. I mean, you're right. I think our last episode that we talked about, we did say that we need to see the consistency coming out of Justin Fields and trying to make him feel, trying to play better on a consistent basis, right? I think he needs to grow. Coming out of a good game against Minnesota, even though we didn't get a W, but you're right. I think that's one thing that we're all looking for with Justin Fields. I mean, the running game will be the running game. I think there will be a little bit more lanes open up for both Montgomery and Khalil Herbert tomorrow for the running game, and even Justin Fields. You know, if the pocket collapses, you know, the open field for Justin Fields, I think he's also another weapon in the running game too, as well as he's shown on Sunday against the Vikings. That he can use his legs and he could be a weapon going down the field. He did it plenty of times on Sunday. But yeah, you're right. He has to. This has to come true. He's going to throw over 170 yards tomorrow. I mean, we need to see a little bit more. We need to see him to get close to that level. Maybe 170, maybe a little bit too much, but he has to flirt with that number just a little bit more, a little lower, or a little higher than that in order for the Bears to be successful in this passing game. It's going to be a wide open game. The secondary is a little beat up for the Commanders. I was about to say the Redskins again. For the Commanders, secondary is a little beat up. The front seven without Chase Young, it's really nothing. Almost kind of sort of like the Bears in the same situation, but at least the linebacking core for the Chicago Bears is just a tad bit better. And we just need to see a little bit more a little bit more from Komet. Can he bring over it now? Consistency, same from Mooney, same from Komet. Hopefully, we could see uh uh N'Keal Harry tomorrow too as well. See what he brings to the table if he does show up, and a little bit more from it. We just need to see a little bit more from everybody on the offensive side of the ball tomorrow. And tomorrow is a perfect example and a perfect game for the players to come out just a little bit with this depleted Washington defense.
I would say too, Eric. On the defensive side of the ball, the Bears have to create turnovers because the Commanders are known for giving turnovers. We know Carson Wentz is that guy who would throw interceptions. So just Eddie Jackson has to come alive. It's, the corners have to play lockdown D, and then we already know what Roquan Smith can bring you. He needs to bring it tomorrow, and the Bears can come out with a winner. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm siding with you that the Bears are going to win. I just don't think it's going to be that many points. With the weather being as bad as they say it's going to be, I want to say 19-13.
Yeah, I mean that's a good score line too. A few touchdowns, maybe a touchdown, no interceptions, a touchdown thrown from Justin or Rand. Maybe even two. If we see two touchdowns from Justin Fields, I think that's even great progress too as well coming from the one last week. We just need this team to be mentally prepared for another game, a short week, the first short week and the only short week that the Bears are going to have this year against the Commanders. Luckily, it's at home. And another thing too, if there's another reason to be optimistic or to be happy about tomorrow's game is that the Bears are 2-0 here at home. So if that whatever that does to you, whether if that brings a little bit more excitement or a little bit more confident in your pick of choosing the Bears winning tomorrow, I mean they're undefeated at home, so that has to say something.
Yeah, I agree.
CP goes, what up, CP? What's going on? If Justin Fields has a bad game against Washington, I may just side with you, Jose. And feels the bust.
Whoa, is CP out of Facebook jail or is that a different account?
I think it's a different account, homie.
Hey, my boy, free CP.
Free CP for sure. I mean, we're still alive. I mean,
or did he escape? And he's escaping. He's in incognito with his new identity. What is going on?
What is going on? But yeah, we want to know what you guys think too as well. Join us in the comment section, just like our boy CP too. The link is also on here too as well for you guys to join us, see your face, just give out your opinion, whatever it is about tomorrow's game against the Bears and the Commanders here in Chicago. Hopefully we get another Bears victory Friday. Hopefully we get another Bears win for them to be 3-3. Any bold predictions from a player or players for tomorrow's game?
Can I also say, like, I'm sick, guys? I'm not over here snorting.
Whatever.
I'm like, it's. I got mocos, man. I got boogers over here, man. Okay,
oh yeah, sure. That's what they say. With the petticoat over there in the background, you can even hide that.
I'm for real, dude. It's not ew. I'm sorry. What was your question, Aaron?
I said any bold player prediction tomorrow.
Oof, bold player predictions tomorrow. Damn. I think if I'm gonna go with a bold player prediction tomorrow, I'm gonna say I don't even think it's actually that bold. I'd say Montgomery gets over 200 yards.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be Sam, who's in the comments. Thank you for comment. I think he put it right in the head. His game's going to be bowling shoe ugly. It's gonna be a run. It's gonna be a run and defensive type of game, man. So that's why I think Montgomery goes off.
Okay, that's not bad. My bold predictions right there. Fields will throw for over 170 yards, and the Bears win. I think it's time. I think what we saw Sunday is proof more than enough. With maybe just a little bit reliable. We'll see what N'Keal Harry does. A reliable wide receiver. Maybe if it's not Pettis or dropping the balls right there, give him somebody with safe hands. Maybe he will get those extra yards that he missed out, right? But I think that's my bold prediction. I think Justin Fields will throw 170 yards for a Bears victory tomorrow, and he has the talent to prove it. Like I said, he did it on Sunday. Why not? Why not with a not so great, not so good, not even a good defense with the Washington Commanders? I think Justin Fields can prove and actually do this with hopefully no problem. And another thing that we kind of want to see, I think you and I will probably agree on this, Jose, that we need all four quarters to be played well. We don't need no second half adjustments. We don't need nothing like that. We don't need another slow start in the first half. I think we need all four quarters to be played tomorrow. I think the Bears need to play all four quarters well. What do you say? Bold prediction: neither team scores a touchdown tomorrow.
Both defenses are bad, man. I think touchdowns will be scored. It'll just be.
Yeah, it will definitely won't be like last week. Last week was just a very, what's the right word for Broncos and Colts last week? What's a good word for how bad the game was last week?
You know, why are you looking for a word? Regardless of the fact it's tough and it sucks for Thursday night football to have back-to-back ugly ass games, man.
I don't think this will be that ugly.
It's going to be an ugly game.
It's not going to be that. It's not going to be as ugly as last week.
I mean, teams are worse than the last two teams from last week. How's it not going to be even uglier?
Because I honestly feel there will actually be a touchdown scored. To be honest with you, like you said, both defenses are not that good, right? So Carson Wentz is a decent quarterback. Let's be honest. I mean, we can say whatever he wants. He's a decent quarterback, below average, above average, no matter what you say. Carson Wentz is okay. He's a quarterback. He knows what he's doing. He can do what CP he can do. He knows what he's doing. So I think there'll be a touchdown or two thrown from both quarterbacks, I believe, or either quarterback.
CP, what's up, free, buddy? My boy CP. Is that another account, man, or you got it back?
Yeah, that was actually my old account, but
there you
go. They did let me out of jail today.
I
kept complaining and complaining. They let me off the 30-day.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Sweet. All right, CP, what you got for tomorrow? I know you already commented on here.
Mark Zuckerberg ain't got shit on you, boy. Let's go.
Oh.
What do you got for tomorrow? What's your prediction for tomorrow, man?
Probably the same thing Jose said. Everybody's expecting the Bears to put up a lot of points. I'm not. I think this is going to be a really low-scoring game. Field goal kicks. I think it'll be messy. A lot of flags. I do think David Montgomery probably has a great game. I'm him rushing for at least 120 yards.
Yeah, he's going off. He's going off tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he goes off. I think Mooney has a good day. It looks like Mooney's starting to pick up some consistency lately. I like what I'm seeing from him. I think this is like I said on Monday, I think this is one of those games where Justin Fields establishes confidence. Because, everybody has went off against Washington. They're everybody's whipping boy. So, I mean, if I don't see it this game, I might start to think like Jose thing. I'm like, I mean, Fields, we can't keep. I mean, it's not like the Washington has a great defensive line either. So, if you can't get through this game without, some turnovers or holding the ball too long, I don't want to see Justin Fields sacked more than 2 times.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, that's gonna be way tough. I think more than 2 times is probably. It sounds about right.
Has 1 turnover on the year so far. 1 turnover.
Yeah, they're bad defense, man.
Come on, man.
No, yeah, it's. Look, it's not. I'm gonna put it out there that it's not gonna be better than last week. It really isn't. I don't think it's going to be a bad game, a horrible play where I honestly feel like both teams will actually be in each other's in the red zone, right? Honestly, there's going to be touchdowns scored. I don't see anything, or nothing gives me that reason that both teams are not going to do anything. If both teams are not that good defensively, and yet the offense can still provide a little something on both ends. You know what I mean?
So you think it'll be higher scoring?
I got 24-10, but then I realized after looking at the weather, after I wrote this before the game before we started the show, and I saw how the weather's gonna be, I'm like,
that
no, a little bit. I'll probably give a different score line before the show ends or before we go on to a different segment about the Bears. Maybe not. We'll see.
I honestly think it'll be like that Denver Colts game we saw last week.
No, yeah, come on. It
That's why.
can't
That's
be
why.
that bad. It can't. It won't be that bad. How should I say? Last week's, you could tell that both teams offensively are still trying to identify what they're going to be. At least the Bears have some type of identity, what they are offensively, just
Yeah,
like the
bad,
Commanders are.
bad. They identify as bad, Eric, and
Yeah,
that's why it's not going to be good.
last week, last
No.
week's both offenses are identified as bad. Come on now, guys. It's not going to be the same as
Last
last
week
week.
was the
It's
Bears'
not.
best week. What are you talking about?
What do you?
I'm not saying
The
last
Bears
week,
have
we seen
scored
the
more
Bears.
points, literally. And at least they have been out of what, single digits in every game so far this season, other than last week.
Last week was the best the offense looked, Eric. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like
By far.
they
No,
were.
I'm talking about the Colts Broncos game.
No, I get that, but
Yeah.
the one thing about the Colts and Broncos, they have good defenses. We don't. The Bears don't have a good defense. They're
Right,
decent.
but neither does the
They're decent, but they're not.
Commanders, and that's
They're not
why
as
it's
good
going
as
to
the
be.
Broncos.
There's going to be some scores.
The Bears defense is not as good as the Broncos defense. Is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I know that. I think anybody
But
that
it's
has
not
two
super
eyeballs and know the
bad
game of
neither,
football
though.
know that the Broncos and the Colts have better defenses than the Bears. That's pretty obvious. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be it's going to be the same as last week between the Colts and the Broncos. Like, no, it's not going to be like last week's game.
I don't know. Like I can't have any optimism or hope like I always do because they just go back and prove me wrong every single time or prove me right.
When you expect them
Yeah,
to perform, that's when you get let down. So I understand why Jose feels that.
exactly. So it's like I I'm just traumatized. Our boy Sam says bold player prediction. Cole Kmet has one touchdown pass since 2020. Tomorrow night he catches two. So he said he's looking like a little Travis Kelce Jr.
Right.
Oh, anybody had him on the fantasy football last week? Anybody?
Oh man, I
No.
wish.
Not definitely.
How many
not.
points did he give you?
I dropped him after week 2.
30. I think it was like 38 points, and I still lost. Imagine that.
Damn.
I still lost. Yeah, but you guys are listening to the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Brought to you by Star 6 Media. Wow, I was going to say the other way around. Star 6 Media here. Jose Contreras, my boy CP, as always, a special guest, and he's on almost every show. More than our boy John, but John's doing John got a pass this one. I hope
CP is part of the crew. It should be the C is now for you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Jose,
the J is for you, for Jose.
Yeah, the J is for Jose, the C is for CP, and then it works out.
So it really doesn't change then, huh?
Just change it up. We
We
keep
like this.
Well, hey, I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
Johnny.
I prefer it that way. I prefer
There you
CP over both of you guys any day. And I'll stand by that. But guys, moving on to the next segment here. The Chicago Bulls last preseason game was last night. Season starts mañana. Is it mañana or Friday? I'm blanking.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
No, first game.
The 19th they played Miami Heat. The 19th.
19th. Okay, cool. Thank you. So a few days away. But how much of the last game yesterday are you going to take into the preseason? Because now there's a starting lineup. There's a guaranteed starting 5. And the starting point guard, who everybody thought it was going to be, it may not have been.
It's Io.
And it's Io DeSumo. A lot of people thought it was going to be Kobe White. Maybe I even heard little rumblings that it might have been Alex Caruso starting it. But Io DeSumo starting at the 1, along with Zach at the 2, DeMar at the 3, Pat Will at the 4, and Vooch with 5 until further notice. Then further notice is when Lonzo Ball comes back. But how confident are you guys with this starting 5 that's going to start the regular season? CP.
Go ahead, CP.
I'm extremely confident, to be honest. I'm a huge Io fan. I used to watch his games when he went to Morgan Park. I went to a few of them. He's always been a great ball handler, great passer. He's done it at Illinois, so I feel comfortable with him starting at the point guard spot with Lonzo Ball. Because to be honest, I don't know when we're going to see Lonzo Ball. I don't know if we see him at all this year. Like, it's worse than you guys think. But Io has always been a great defender. He's got a good set shot. I'm not going to say he's the greatest shooter in the world, but you certainly can't leave him open. But, I mean, it's the same way with Lonzo. So I like Lonzo. Obviously, he's a better passer, better ball handler, but I'm not tripping about Ayo starting this, but I think that's the right move. Dragic, Kobe White, they're more offensive guys that you're better off bringing off the bench. Same thing with Caruso. He's the defensive utility guy. He's just going to come in and bring you energy. I'd rather him do that off the bench. But you got Drummond hitting threes. I don't know if that's going. I don't know if that's going to go into the season. But
he was talking about he's been practicing that now in the offseason.
hey, they was all switched though, like all net, like he's been shooting for years. So
Right.
Hopefully, I mean, maybe he can make a few in the season, but I don't want him taking like too many. Don't take
Right.
more than 2-3, bro. Don't go in there attempting 5-6 threes.
Leave that to Vooch. I don't need both my big guys up there. No.
Right, Vooch takes enough threes for our big man. That's enough for me. But yeah, I like where we are. I mean, I know the East got hella better, with Mitchell with the Cavs and everything. So the division is going to be a little tougher, but I still got us like in that top 5, top 6 range, probably like 4th, 5th seed. I still got faith in us.
Jose, how confident are you feeling with this starting 5 for now up until Lonzo Ball comes back?
I agree with CP 100%. Man, he hit it right in the head. I think I would assume is a good backup for Lonzo Ball to start until Lonzo comes back. When that happens, I mean, I believe CP when he says it might be a lot worse than we all think, and it sucks. Luckily, we still have another 3 years of him, right? Potentially
2, I think.
It's 2 now.
It's 2 more, yeah, because he wasn't drafted in the first round, so he loses out on a year.
Okay,
I think, right? I think I got that right.
I'm talking about Lonzo.
Oh, you're talking about Lonzo?
Yeah, I'm talking about Lonzo.
Yeah, Lonzo.
Lonzo's still 2.
Whatever the case is, I like Ayo Dosunmu. What I have noticed this preseason, and I know it's preseason, but what I have noticed that he has developed a little bit more of a shot than he had last year. You know what I mean? So that's always going to help. And what I like about him, he's strong enough to cut down the lane and get those explosive layups from the point guard position. But we don't need Ayo to do much, guys. We don't, because if you look around him, you have a healthy Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan looks like DeMar DeRozan from last year.
Yeah.
He's averaging over 21, 25 points a game this preseason, and that's with limited minutes. You can't miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have Vucevic, who I felt he looked a little bit better defensively this preseason. And we mentioned what Drummond's doing. Patrick Williams is still there progressing. Keep Alex Caruso on the bench because, like CP said, he's your energizer bunny. He's a utility guy. He's the one that's going to come out, your 6th man, going to come out, and he's going to lead the backups, right? Goran Dragic has some chemistry with him already. Kobe White, we know how good offensively he can be. Then you have now you have Andre Drummond. I personally think this team has gotten better. So to answer your question, I feel pretty confident with Ayo starting.
Well, yeah, most of us, right? I think most of us who have some type of basketball intelligence would have assumed that Ayo Dosunmu would have been the starting point guard until further notice, right? I think that was the wisest way to go for the Chicago Bulls and their starting point guard. Now, am I excited? Yeah, the kid showed some flashes last season, right? He coming off the bench, being the extra guy. He had a few games where, he hit double digit points, flirting with 20s, and there were some Ayo games that we saw and we fell in love with the kid, and especially him being from Chicago, even added that extra oomph. Now him being the starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls right now is good. And I agree with you guys. I think this is a unanimous choice that we all agree that Ayo Dosunmu is probably one of the best backup point guards, coming out of this team. And then it leads back to Alex Caruso at the 2. And then the case may be with Kobe White, right? Whatever, he could be the backup to Ayo, when he needs his rest or if he gets into foul trouble. I'm okay. I'm fine. You guys literally hit almost every single thing that the Bulls, what the Bulls are going to be for the next few months up until Lonzo Ball comes back. They're going to struggle defensively. You saw that a little bit last night, even with the backups. Maybe, maybe
the whole
maybe
preseason
not.
You saw it.
For preseason,
they're still pretty bad defensively.
Yeah, no, we're going to struggle, but at the same time, looking at it, the Bulls are going to get some. They're going to get their points, right? You're going to get. We need to see that transition to where Zach is your leading scorer instead of DeMar DeRozan. Zach needs to, up his game up a little bit. If we get anywhere near what DeMar DeRozan was last year, I think that would be great. That would be amazing, right?
I don't think Zach needs to outscore DeMar DeRozan. Just
Oh,
score
he has to. You
consistently
can't.
and have that backcourt duel
Yeah, just
that
do
we
their
had
part.
last year.
You
You know what I
can't.
mean?
You can't get this money and not be the second scorer on this
I
team.
get that, Eric, but at
You
this
can't.
point, as a fan, I don't care how much we're paying this guy. Just make sure you're doing your job and be up there with DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying don't be worse. I'm saying
Right.
be up there with
You don't
him.
want to push him into this like selfish player or something.
Right,
That
exactly.
I got like, oh, I got to prove myself. No. Keep doing what you're doing. Zach LaVine did not have a bad. He was an all-star.
Right.
He did not have a bad year. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't like. I know you're the $200 million guy now, but don't force yourself to play like it. You know.
Exactly.
But he still needs to be somewhere right there, right here with DeMar DeRozan, right?
That ain't my money. I ain't worried about that. You know what I mean? That ain't my money. I ain't paying him. That ain't my money.
The one thing that I think I've been preaching this last year, and I've been preaching this, so far that we've been talking about the Chicago Bulls, and we saw it again last night, is that Patrick Williams can score if you give him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Williams can be your third leading scorer in this team, and you take away points away from Vooch, and he can be that other guy that can score off the bench, or that could give you scoring, from the starting lineup. You know what I mean? He's young enough to even play 30 plus minutes. Plus, he needs the basketball, right? He needs the playing time. The last 2 seasons, this guy's playing hurt. His season's been cut off short by injuries, and he's young enough to still keep, just playing 30 plus, 35 plus minutes, and he can still be good enough to even facilitate or be the scorer for the second team. I honestly feel like Pat Will needs to take the next step up in being the scoring scoring four that the Bulls desperately need.
I think
Because I know you're going to get the stretch from Vooch, right? He's going to shoot his 8-10 threes a game, right? And he only is going to score like 3 or 4, and he's going to get your rebounds inside offensively and defensively. Because that's what Vooch is known for. He's a double-double machine. We've seen it so far in the last, how long he's been here? 2 years, year and a half already that he's been here with the Bulls. We've seen that he can produce. But if you need that extra scorer, guys, we've seen it plenty of times within the last couple of years when Pat Will plays. This guy can score. And I think he needs to have the ball with the starting lineup, or let him feel the ball a little bit with the starting lineup and run him with the second team and let him be your ball dominant playmaker and getting the points, as much points as he can. I don't think that's a bad idea. Do you guys think that's a bad idea?
You're asking this of Patrick Williams?
For Pat Will, yeah.
I don't want him to be that guy. I don't think he's that guy. I don't see him ever being that guy. If he's going to be a dominant player, it has to be defensively, it has to be rebounding, it has to be his low post game.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And look, and if he goes off in a game like that, perfect. I have no problem with it. I just don't see it happening, especially when you have scorers like LaVine, Rosen.
There's too many scorers on this team to
exactly. Too many scorers on this team
and put up 20.
Right, no, I understand the way
Donovan coaches, guys, this is going to be up tempo. We've seen it last year. This is supposed to be an up tempo type offense.
Right, it is, and you're gonna have that. But I'm just saying, like, again, he may not get those points with DeRozan and Zach on the floor at the same time, and maybe along with Vooch. But let him get a feel with the ball. That way, when the second team comes in, he can be kind of your first, second go-to guy to get those points and maintain that pressure, because he can do it. Yesterday was proven enough that this guy can score. Yesterday and prior to that, like, we just need a healthy Pat Will. So I think everybody can evaluate him for the player that could potentially he can be, that I see with my own 2 eyes every time I see the ball, or every time I see the Bulls play. Like, this guy can hoop and can get his buckets and get his points to where he can be an important piece, not only for the first team, for the first starting 5, but also for the backups. I think Pat Will can do that. And if Pat Will could give me, 18 points a game, that's more than enough for the Bulls for everybody to have their cake and then eating it too, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I still feel like 18 is a lot. Because obviously we got the old DeMar came back last year. I forgot he averaged what, like 26, 27.
Eh,
Levine averaged 24.
which
Vooch
is fine.
averaged.
They can get their 20s. But I mean, if you could get if Vooch can give you what was his average? 13 and 15, 13 points, 15 boards a game,
No, I
right?
think it was more than that. I think he was at like 18, wasn't he?
18 boards at
18
13,
points. He averaged
18 points.
18
I think it
points.
was less than that. I want to say it was less than that. I think we did a comparison last season of the comparison to DeAndre Ayton and Vucevic, and the difference and the similarities were about the same. They both averaged like 13, 14 points a game, and rebounded were just like decimal points away. The only thing that Vuce had the advantage over DeAndre Ayton was the 3-point shooting, which is probably like the only key factor in this conversation of trade talk of what are you going to do with DeAndre and Vucevic last season.
Yeah, Eric, I just pulled it up. Yeah, he averaged 18 last year. 18 and 11.
You know what? Give those. Let Vooch maybe drop a few points, maybe averaging 15, 14 points a game, and give those to Pat Will. And I promise you guys, like, you guys don't. You I don't. Maybe I'm seeing it completely different than you guys, but I can see where Pat Will can flirt with those same amount of numbers with the playing time, and I can see it. Like I just don't know why. I could see this guy can ball.
He Yeah, I'm sure he would be able to put up those numbers on a team without damn near three All Stars. Yeah, sure. He probably could average 22 if you send him to like the Wizards or something. Yeah, of course Pat Williams could average that. But we don't need him to do that. We need him to play defense. We need to work those boards. He's gonna get his. He's gonna get putbacks. We're gonna give him some shots down low. But we're not like saying come down the court and find P. Will to go find his shot. Like that's not what the Bulls are looking for right now.
I think it would be helpful. I honestly believe like it can be helpful.
Maybe later down the line, when Demar's, I don't know how long Demar stays with us, but maybe later down the line when P. Will has more freedom without, it's probably just him and Levine. And sure, but right now, no, we don't need Pat Will to average 18.
Yeah,
That would be awesome, but
it would be nice. It would definitely be nice. But I agree with CP. It's not necessary when you have, scorers like DeRozan and Levine on there, and we know Woods could bring it to the table too. But I mean, again, if Pat, I agree with you, Eric. If he could step up and show us something for sure, hey, why not? Right? You get scoring when scoring is. I mean, you give it to the hot hand. If that's P. Will for a while, then that's cool. I'm cool with it.
right.
But I don't think relying on him or riding his back is going to win us anything.
I don't think I'm not saying relying on him. I'm not saying let him be in the leading scorer. Like if he could be, if he can take some of the points away, right? If Zach scores 20, what's his average? 26. If he averages 25 and 22 from DeMar DeRozan and the 15 from Vooch, and you take like 2 or 3 points away from those guys and man him to Pat Will, I think it's complimentary for him and let him be kind of like the facilitator or kind of the main two guy for that second team. I'm not talking about the first team. First team, I think we already know whose position is everybody, where Pat Will can be the first option. The fourth option in that starting five. It's just that second squad, that young and up and coming squad, where he can be maybe your first, maybe even your second go-to guy in that offense, to where those numbers get inflated just a little bit.
Yeah,
Then
we know Billy Donovan is going to mix and match. He's going to play, Pat Will with the second unit, and I'm sure he'll get hella buckets with the second unit. I'm just saying, don't expect him to get a lot with the first unit.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, it'll be a bonus, like you guys said. Definitely not. I think with the first unit, you're right. The first unit is going to struggle defensively with Vooch being there. The deficiencies in defensive and his defensive role of Zach LaVine, and whatever you get out of DeMar DeRozan on the defensive side of the ball. I think your only two main on-ball defenders on that first team right now is Ayo Dosunmu and Pat Will. I mean, yesterday I seen Vucevic, playing defense, and he tries. I'm not saying he doesn't. He tries. It just doesn't suit him. Like, you could just tell, like, he's just slow at every single position or every single movement that he does. Like, playing defense, you could tell, like, it's not in his repertoire. Yeah, he could be there disrupting if somebody drives in the lane. Cool. I mean, what guy who's 7 feet can just do this and be enough of a disruptor, right? Like that. But You can tell like when he needs to play defense, when he needs to move or something like that. You can tell like it's just they just lack.
He has heavy feet, it seems like, but
It does. It looks like he has bricks instead of shoes.
Hey man, we paying Zach LaVine $200 million. I want to see him commit to the defensive end too. No more. Like we know you can score, Zach, but you're very athletic, and I believe you can become a great defender if you commit to it. Like I feel like he gambles too much. It's about time he commit himself on that end too.
Yeah, be a Klay Thompson type 2-way player.
Be the Zach LaVine that we saw with Team USA. I think that Klay Thompson that actually hustled on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's what we need. But I mean that would be great too. But if we know 2 out of the 5 are the only ones that are playing defense, I think we're going to be in trouble with the first unit.
I saw Andre Drummond getting some block shots too.
I seen that yesterday. I think we're all gonna fall in love more with the second unit than we are with the first unit. I honestly feel that. I saw that yesterday, even though they were the starters. But I feel like the players that are coming off the bench, I feel like we're gonna be more appreciative to that second unit than we are for the first unit. I think we're gonna be more critical.
Bench mob.
Yeah, we're gonna be real critical on the first team on why they're scoring, why isn't this, why isn't that, and then the second team is are going to be the ones that are going to win our hearts. The JCA Sports Broadcast brought to you by Star 6 Media here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, make sure you follow all the Star 6 Media platforms, not only here on Facebook, not only on YouTube, not only on Twitch and Twitter, but also on TikTok and on Instagram, as we did a whole new production with Crack One Media. All right, guys, way too early season prediction of our Chicago Bulls. This is the one I was waiting for all day today. I want to know what you guys think. The way how the team is constructed now, the way how the East is, and how everything happened in the whole entire Eastern Conference. What is the Bulls' record on a way too early before the season starts prediction? Let's go with, I guess Jose left, so CP, let's start with you.
Wait, the NBA is playing 82 games this year, right?
I believe so.
I don't know. I thought I remember hearing something about them taking games out, but
let me see. Let me look that up for you right now.
Well, I mean, what were they last year? I think we finished 46 and 36 last year.
Something like that. Yeah, we were 4th, I think, in the conference.
Right, with Pat Will coming back for a full year and our bench getting better. Because, I'm not gonna lie, there were times where our bench killed us last year. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm expecting at least 50 and 32 at the minimum, 52, 53 games at the maximum. I think we can get in that range. I don't feel like that's too much to ask for, especially considering besides Philly, Milwaukee, I'm not sold on Brooklyn yet like everybody else is. I have to see it first. Miami and Boston is still there, so I do believe we can finish win at least 50 games and be in that 4th, 5th seed range. Because I feel like we're essentially bringing back the same team. A lot of people are start getting used to each other. They're trying to get used to each other. But I feel like the Bulls got good chemistry already. So I feel like we'll take advantage of everybody else in the East trying to gel together.
Yeah. Okay, Jose.
I'm with
48, 50 wins. I think the East got a lot better this year. Based on prior years. I remember when this conference was just sad. It was when you only had the top 2 teams. When it was the Bulls and the Cavs, or Bulls and the Heat, whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? Wherever LeBron James was, that team was going to represent the East. This time around, you don't know who it's going to be because you have so many good teams. You still have Miami intact. You still have Milwaukee intact, Philadelphia intact, Boston, who went to the finals last year. The Cavaliers have gotten way better, I feel like, with their additions. And I still think the Bulls got better this year. So that's why I say 48, 50 wins. I agree with CP, around that range. I don't see anything over 52, to be honest. I think that's the max, the highest we go.
I don't
either. I want to say they're 6th. Because of the other teams I mentioned, I think they're better than us. You need stars. And if Zach LaVine can be that star next to DeMar DeRozan, then I think we have a shot. But if not, you know what I mean. It's going to be the same as last year. We make it to the playoffs and just pray. But that's what I have basically.
He said, "Pray."
Damn.
He said, "Pray we don't get a gentleman's sweep in the playoffs if we do make it." Because if you say 6, I think 6 you play in that play-in tournament. Am I correct?
No, 7 and 8 playing the play-in tournament.
Play
Seven.
7 and 8 playing them. So okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just want to know this play-in tournament. I'm not used to it. The Bulls win to the playoffs and the 4th seed they automatically win in. You know what I'm saying?
As long as we don't get Milwaukee again, I feel like that was a bad matchup. I'd love to face.
No, I think any matchup last year, how the Bulls ended, was a bad matchup no matter what, unless if you were apparently the Brooklyn Nets who couldn't just find anything in to play well towards the tail end of the season.
I would have liked to
speaking
face
of-
Miami or Boston.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Nets, we have Justin Lee in the comments says he has the Bulls over the Nets.
Nice.
Also go insane and says 50 games is reasonable if we stay healthy and efficient, but this is probably gonna make you mad. He says Patrick Williams is a liability.
Whoa.
I don't know
What's the
how.
liability.
I mean, the only thing he's a liability on if he gets hurt. I mean, I think that's the staple on him. Like he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why. I mean, 2 seasons where his season is cut short by injuries. Get that. That's perfectly fine. But I think I've seen enough to where like this guy can play in the NBA level when healthy.
We have also Carbs going on and say what I did notice was that they barely used Marko Simonovic this preseason. Do you guys think they should use him as trade bait down the line if we need a star player or good backup for depth come trade deadline?
So I've seen a little bit of his game in the summer league, right? And when you have a guy who's 6'11", right, he can shoot the ball, right? He can shoot it. He just looks a little thin. He looked thin, but then he got bulky. I think the additions of Andre Drummond kind of took it away right now, and then you still got Derrick Jones and I hit myself.
Javonte Green looked good in the preseason.
Yeah, Javonte Green too as
Yeah,
well. You're gonna get those, and him being that same guy, right? 6'11", he doesn't look good on defense. The same thing. It looks like he has bricks for shoes when he's on defense. He's just very lanky and tall. But he can shoot. I mean, he can shoot the ball. He can shoot the ball very well. He's a good stretch 5 player. But again, it's like a younger Vucevic, but he's more linkier. Like you could tell, like this dude's arms stretch more. Like he can stretch. I think his wingspan could be like up to like 7'3". If I'm
he's
not
also
mistaken.
an efficient scorer. But I mean, at least a little bit more than I feel like than Vooch was.
Right, but we still haven't seen him in an NBA game level speed. I wasn't really paying too much attention, and when I saw the Bulls, I don't think he even got any playing time when I was watching them last night. So it's kind of like,
he needs to develop his body.
Exactly. So it's kind of one of those like kind of don't want like I've seen a little bit when him playing out in Europe and a little bit in the G League, and in the summer league, and he can play. It's just there's something missing about him. Is all I'm trying to say.
Right now is not the time.
Right now is exactly now is not the time too as well. I agree with Justin that 50 is reasonable if they stay healthy and they're efficient. I would give you 50 if it was Lonzo Ball at the helm running point, right? With that being said, depending when he comes back, maybe in January, maybe February, maybe not even at all, right? 45 sounds about the number for the Bulls this year. I think 45 is that mark. And I don't see them going any further than 45.
Does 45 do it for you in the East though? That got way better. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think
that's
your division in the Central is tough as it is. With Milwaukee, you play them 3-4 times. With Cavaliers that have Donovan Mitchell and the team that they still have, they didn't really lose a lot. You play them 3-4 times. You play the Pistons, who are going to be tough. They play tough. You play them 3-4 times. And then the Pacers may be the Pacers, but they got big players on that team, and they can rough you up. And I feel like that's where the Bulls are going to struggle. When you play against a team that can rough you up, you still got Brooklyn. I know, I get that. Brooklyn, I just seen Carter's last comment. When you get Brooklyn, Brooklyn has the stars. Whatever may happen over there. that's going to be a
Novella.
Hollywood story out in the East.
Reality show.
Yeah, exactly. Boston is the question mark. Even though they were in the NBA Finals last year, there's just the problems that they had with the coach. That was a big part of the reason why they got into the NBA Finals.
Definitely.
Plus, they lost their assistant coach too. That he got a head coaching job in. Damn it, I forgot where he went. He went out west. That's all I know. I forgot, and it was in my head. So I think he went. Damn it. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever the case may be, he left. Right. Atlanta to me got a little better. You still have Miami with the veterans down over there. 45 wins. I think I'm with Jose. I think that gives them 6th, maybe even 7th in the East.
45. That's like 7, 8 seed.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
like,
saying
Yeah,
45
it
to
just-
7, 8. If you're going to be 6, that like 48 wins is probably the lowest you'll get.
definitely.
That's where I feel where the Bulls are at right now. Again, healthy and efficient. That sounds like Lonzo Ball running, playing quarterback with this team, playing the one and doing everything like we saw the Bulls how they started off the season last year. That gives me 50, 53. I think Carbs put it up there. I think that was him that put 53 wins for the Bulls, right? That's a little too
Yeah.
45 is the mark that I'm going to leave for the Bulls. I think we're going to get the same. We're going to get the same old how we finished the second half of the season, starting off this season. But I think we're just a little tweak. We're just going to be just a tad bit little better, simply because the screws are going to be somewhat tightened on defense, knowing that the pressure of they have to play well right off the start, right off the mat. And I didn't even mention Philadelphia, who's also in the Eastern Conference too as well. And they look like they didn't do anything, but they still got Joel Embiid, and the Bulls have an Embiid problem. So, 45 wins, guys. I think that's a good mark. And then maybe they do need to play in those, and maybe that's the seed that the Bulls need to be to prove themselves if they can actually compete with the big boys. I mean, that's just how I see it.
We'll find out. It's a good question, and this season is going to be very interesting in that aspect because again, everybody in the East almost seems like they gotten better, but the Brooklyn Nets. But I guess you can even say the Brooklyn Nets are also, I guess, in a better spot than they were in the beginning of the offseason.
Right.
They all wanted to leave, and now they're all seems like okay, like we're staying. Let's make the most of it. And you still have superstars there with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and I don't take those guys lightly at all.
You got Simmons, you got Harris back. Royce O'Neal was a great addition.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you still got the young up and coming teams in Atlanta that we didn't even speak about, and whatever you get out of the Charlotte Hornets, right? It's whatever you get out of
They
them.
were all playing teams.
And
They
exactly,
were all playing- the Cavaliers
they were
too.
all playing teams.
So it's going to be tough for sure.
It is. I mean, like I said, you still got the Pistons over there. You still have the Pacers. I feel like we're missing like a team or two in the Eastern Conference as well. It's tough. It's going to be tough, and that's why
Washington isn't worth mentioning.
Right.
Yeah, well, there you go, Washington. See, I told you I was missing.
Or
the team.
Orlando's not worth mentioning either.
Orlando's
going to be
so
out of
like
house, so Charlotte is a non-factor.
Yeah, Charlotte got worse in my opinion.
Again, they were still one of those teams that got into the playing game, right? They were there for a reason. You may be right. They've probably gotten worse, but at the same time, like even though you gotten worse, the teams kind of still went above you and kind of put you down on that list. So that's the only reason, that kind of worries me a little bit about the Chicago Bulls to start off the season. And the season starts off very gruesome for the Chicago Bulls, I believe. I know they start off in Miami. The first 2 games are on the road before they get their first home game against the Cavs out of all teams, right? So
Should be a good game.
We'll see. I don't know what you guys think on the comments. Put how many games do we think the Bulls will win this season? We're at the way too early predictions for our Chicago Bulls for the NBA 2022-2023 season. And you guys are watching and listening to the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, brought to you by the Star 6 Media Productions. Star 6 is Star 6 Media that we collaborated with Crack One. All right. We have our bets for the weekend. I know Jose is excited to give us his
Not
bets
really.
for the weekends. Yeah, I think we're doing this one thing to where, what was it, Jose? I think we all put in $5. We all put in a bet all together in one parlay, and we're going to see which one of our picks did not hit, and that's the reason why that's person's fault.
Yeah, but I don't think John left us his pick, so
So I don't know, CP, if you want to join us, but It's Jose, myself, and John did put one in, and it could be anything. It could be from the MLB playoffs. It can be for the NBA season, football. Hell, I go far back as even soccer. I go far, far west in the real football and give you guys a good pick. So you say you got John's, Jose?
No, I don't have John. That's the only thing. We don't
Oh,
have
you
John.
don't
So
have John's.
I say,
So what's yours?
I say the three of us just pick a game, just one game. You know what I mean?
Just
And
one
then
game.
we see how it fares. You know what I mean? We don't have to bet it,
Gotcha.
but in case I'll bet it. I'll put in I'll put a $5 bet or $10 bet. With our picks on over the weekend. So see what happens.
Okay.
This weekend gonna be tough though. It look like it could be a lot of upsets.
I'm looking at them, man, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a really tough weekend.
A tough
Yeah,
weekend.
this one doesn't look this appeasing, but I do have one where
I do
I
too.
like to give you guys a little knowledge when it comes to the beautiful sport of soccer, right?
Oh boy.
So the one thing about this beautiful sport, right, is that most matchups that you do see, right, some of them are actually everything's are a plus, right? That means they're too close to call, but you still get plus money on these teams, right? So I'm gonna go all the way to Germany for this week, right? Between us, bear with me with the names. I don't know. I know you guys are not gonna understand it, but I will. It's Bayern Leverkusen versus
Whew,
Eintracht
Gesundheit.
Frankfurt. Huh?
Gesundheit, bro. What the hell?
It's the German in me. It's the German in me, bro.
Say
but
it with a German accent. You gotta say it with a German accent.
It's
Or you gotta
Eintracht
say it like you're
Frankfurt
spitting.
versus Bayern Leverkusen.
There you go.
Like that, huh? It's you gotta have that
Yeah.
emphasis. All right, and this game is pretty interesting because it's a battle of two teams that are in the top six, right? I think Leverkusen's in fourth, and Eintracht. No, I'm sorry, Leverkusen's in fifth, and
The other
Eintracht
team?
Frankfurt's in seventh, right? But it's in Frankfurt's home place. So, and right now, Frankfurt at home, they've been undefeated, right? With 4 wins and 1 draw. They have scored 15 goals at home, and they've only received 5, right? But with Leverkusen, this has been their best start in the last 5 seasons, where they're actually this high up in the table right now, above Bayern Munich, who's having a slow start. With all that being said, you have Frankfurt at plus 165 and Leverkusen, the favorite on the road for 140. But the draw looks really, really good to me. I think this is going to be a very interesting game where it's going to be a 2-2 game. It's going to be a draw, and that draw gives you plus 225.
I think we lost.
That's
some
the little
viewers
soccer
there
knowledge
talking
for you
soccer
for
right
this week from EA.
now. Our viewers
what you got?
dropped, Eric, when you started talking soccer. Our viewers dropped when you started talking soccer, man. I'm just playing. I don't have the stats to this week. I don't have the stats for you, but the only reason is because every week I pick a game and I'm always right on this. It's always the one upset I know that's going to happen. I picked it when the Colts beat the Chiefs weeks ago. I picked it when the Jets beat the Dolphins. You name it, right? I know how to pick upsets, and I have one for you. Huh?
What do you got this week?
This week I have the Denver Broncos defeating the Los Angeles Chargers. That's 3 weeks in a row I went against my Chargers, and last week they won. They barely won, right? But that's the only reason why. They're defensively, they are bad. They are horrific defensively. The Chargers are, and although they could score, the Broncos defense is good. It's a solid defense. And the only reason why their games are so ugly is because they're good on that side of the ball. And I don't know what it is, but I can just see everyone's going to count the Broncos off after that ugly game. Russell Wilson is being criticized left and right. I could just see them turning it around this game and defeating the Los Angeles Chargers. And they're plus 180, 185 right now. So I say take the Broncos on the money line.
Okay.
Interesting.
Broncos, let's ride.
Broncos country, let's
after-
ride. You're ugly for that one, dude. And the fact that
After
you're
what
going
the
on your
Packers
new
just-
favorite team, your number one team in the Chargers, bro, is just very. Why'd you pick them to be
3
your
weeks
team in
in
the
a row.
first place? If
3
you've
weeks in
been
a row, and I
going
was right
against
the
them
first
for the
week.
last 5
Hold on.
weeks.
3
I
weeks in a row, and I was
forgot
right the first week when the Jaguars beat them, and I was wrong last week, but they barely won against the Browns, barely. So I don't know. I don't know why I keep
You
going
are
against
the
him, but I don't
epitome
see the
of a
money.
fake fan, my friend.
Shut your go ahead, CP. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna ask after what the Packers pulled last week. I'm scared to even take them against the Jets. To be honest, after that stunt they pulled, the Jets look good. I don't know. I definitely don't know.
It's weird, right?
Yeah,
Zach Wilson got that BDE, boy.
and everybody's assuming the Eagles are just going to run over the Cowboys. I'm not so sure.
Pause, though. Pause. But go ahead. Sorry.
Come on, man. And if you guys want to win easy money, just put Club America to win the second leg on Saturday. You guys got easy money there. They're negative 160 at the
Hold
moment.
on, man. We're still waiting on CP, though. Don't lose us anymore.
It's all good. I'm just trying to give you another extra one if you guys want to put a parlay in.
Go ahead. Pick the Jets. I think that's a good pick, CP. I'm not
I
going to
think that's a great pick, honestly.
that's a
I
good
actually
pick.
have them winning
you
this week
really?
in one of the pools that I'm in.
Oh, you actually got one of them?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. I might pick them to say. I mean, imagine the Packers back to back losing to New York teams or New Jersey, whatever you want to call them.
It wouldn't be that surprising simply because
Right,
we
it
have
wouldn't
seen,
shock
we have seen the outside of the Bears game. I feel like the wide receivers for the Green Bay Packers haven't done diddly squat. Even in the London game, that game looked pretty bad from the wide receivers standpoint. I mean, there were a few of them that got the catches right. I think
Not the same, man. And
it's
what
not the
sucks,
same.
and what
This
sucks
team
is
is
that
not the same.
we're not capitalizing. The Bears are not capitalizing on this.
Yeah,
on
that's
this year.
that's what I told you, man. Like I said it on Monday. If the Bears would have came back, if the dumbass in number 17 didn't fumble the ball in the final quarter and didn't get the
Aaron
illegal
never
block
gonna
in the
let him
back,
go.
he took away points from the Chicago Bears. The Bears would have been in first place right now this week if they would have won on Sunday.
That's
He
wild.
said
one
he
idiot
received
had to
hate
screw it up
mail.
for the Bears.
I'm sure you was part of that hate mail that he got.
Oh yeah, I even said it. I said it on the show. I don't know if you heard me, CP, but I even said it that he did not deserve to get on that team bus the way coming back to Chicago. Like he should have just walked home in that uniform and just been like, "All right, cool. I made a professional team. Great. All right."
Leave him in Minnesota.
Leave him in Minnesota. I mean, he played there last year. He probably still has a residence there somewhere somehow.
Conspiracy theory? You think he did it on purpose? He probably lost the
No,
bet
he
to
was
one
just
of his
an
boys.
idiot,
Hey, next
bro.
time we
You
play,
can
he's
just
gonna-
tell he tried to do too much. You seen that this man tried to do too much just to make a name for himself simply because he was already on a roster on an NFL team and he made a catch. Plus, he stiff armed the same dude that took the ball away from him. Just put that into perspective.
All right, CP. Do you have the Jets or what game you're going?
Hmm?
You got the Jets? Is that the one?
No, I'm going. I'm going Cowboys over Eagles.
That's a good one.
That
That was gonna be my second one. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you know what? The Cowboys, I think could if there's gonna be a team that derails the Eagles' undefeated season, it might just be the Cowboys.
the game against two undefeated quarterbacks in Cooper Rush and Jalen Hurts. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought that right now there was going to be a game where two quarterbacks in the NFC East are going playing each other undefeated?
Could be a good game.
I think they turned Jalen Hurts over on Sunday.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That defense is special, man. Those two players are special. Diggs and Parsons are special. They're special
definitely.
guys. You got them both. They remind me of the days when we had Peanut Tillman and Lance Briggs on our team. You know what I mean? Those guys are good.
Briggs. More about Urlacher.
Urlacher, yeah, Urlacher, yeah, Urlacher too.
Urlacher was a
Briggs
footnote
did his thing, but you're right. Urlacher's is a better comp. You're right.
Jeez, this guy. This is what happens when you're a Chargers fan. Jesus, man.
Sick,
Like
man.
you're a die-hard Chargers fan.
I'm you're lucky I even got on this show today.
And it would have been just fine without it. Apparently,
Yeah,
with the
you're right.
comp, talk about Charles Tillman and Lance. No disrespect to Lance Briggs, man, but you had the Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher, and you missed it by a lot.
I forgot about him.
Jesus.
Mm.
Well, hopefully we'll be better next time. Hopefully Bears win tomorrow. We have a victory Friday, and then we're off for like 11 days for the Bears, and simply because they play on the Monday night. We got
Thank
back-to-back primetime games for our beloved Chicago Bears.
Thank God.
First things first, though, we're at home against the Commanders. Hope for a win, 170 yards. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna put $1 on it, and I know it's plus money. I'm gonna put $1 on Justin Fields going over 170 yards, passing yards.
If God is good, the Bears win 23-19, and I win 2,500. Or if the Commanders win 19-13, I win 2,500. But let's just hope it ends at one of those two scores, and your boy's up.
Counting on the field goals.
Yeah,
Right.
Like I said, I'm gonna do a $1, 170. Bears on the money line, and Montgomery for a rushing touchdown
I'm gonna
and
do
over
that
70
too,
yards.
Eric. I'm counting on you. I'm gonna do that too.
Let's do it. That's
Yeah,
plus
I'll
money
probably
for
do
sure.
like
That
5.
is good. Mashallah, I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
God
so,
willing.
all right, guys. The JCA Sports Podcast here brought to you by Star 6 Media on Monday. Is it Monday? We're doing the what is it? Big League Chicago.
Yep. Well, we back, guys, with John, Jack, and Rick. It's gonna be 5 of us. CP, you're more than welcome. Always join us, like always. Yeah, but Big League Chicago. We'll I guess we'll debut Monday, and then the JCA Sports Podcast will be back on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be on live. Just John, myself, and that guy Jose, along with CP. I think we might as well make CP
I'm down, bro. CP is the man.
Hey, we just gotta get another group text between it and just add CP and just add memes all day, and then he could just be part of the production program before we even start. That way we can all know what we, Are you down? I'm down.
Of course.
I'm down. Of course I'm down.
Or we could just replace John and just keep CP. The name is still valuable,
There you go. Jose CP Avila.
JCA stands for us three. That's how I look at it.
There you go. Exactly.
It's all good. But for CP, as always, thank you for hopping on. For Carbs and everybody that watched us and joined us on the chat, thank you very much. Jose Contreras, myself, Eric Avila. Good luck this weekend, guys, and your fantasy football team, and also on the gambling site. Let's go Bears for tomorrow, hopefully for a Bears victory Friday, and also, hey, Man City over Liverpool. Jose, run it. That's gonna be the thing. And as always, Jose, hit that outro.
What a finish! Wow, that is unfreaking believable. What a way for a ball game to end.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's terrible. My God. The humanity.
They may be the drunkest couple in the history of sporting events.
I loved his face.
I would suspect that fan is done for the night. Here's the thing. When you steal something, don't wear it.